Formula Drift course was held at Evergreen Speedway, and its combination of a high-speed, fourth-gear NASCAR-style bank, immediately followed by a tight technical section in the power alley, presented a huge challenge for the drivers. Skies were clear during Friday's unseeded qualifying sessions, and drivers were able to hit speeds north of 70 miles per hour on the bank. Our man Pat Bordant qualified first in the unseeded section in his brand new Braille Auto wide-body 350Z, beating out veterans like Ross Petty and Taka Aono. Ominous gray clouds hung over the sky during Saturday's main event, and scattered showers plagued the top 32 qualifying. Some drivers got to run in the dry, others had to contend with a slippery, wet track. The big story in qualifying was Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s wreck. This is the second event in a row where JR couldn't drive, but he's still 12th in overall points, so we think he'll be alright. Continuing showers threw many drivers off their game. One man not affected by the rain was Reese Millen, who handily beat Kazuha Yoshida 16-0. The battle between Justin Pollock and Robbie Nishida was close, but Pollock was off point through a couple of corners, letting Nishida move on to the Great 8. Formula D veterans Sam Hubinette and Ken Gushi faced off in the top 16. Clutch Gremlins effectively neutered Ken Gushi's Scion TC, giving Hubinette an easy win. The Battle of the Funny Accents was in full effect when Kiwi Reese Millen squared off against Irish drifter Darren McNamara. The two GM Kappa cars were literally door-to-door during both battles, so one more time was called. The sudden death battle saw the drivers continue to lock in on each other, but Millen was able to pull just slightly away from McNamara, allowing Millen to go on to the final four. Robbie Nishida went head-to-head with New Hampshire's own Ryan Turk. Turk spun while in the lead, which in turn caused Nishida to spin as he tried to avoid hitting the solstice. Nishida moved on with a score of 9-3. Ryuji Miki, now rocking a right-hand drive RX-7, spun twice during his fight against Sam Hubinette, giving the Swede a spot in the final four. Robbie Nishida faced off against former ice racer Sam Hubinette in the final four. Nishida was good, but Sam's experience in driving over slippery surfaces allowed him to move on to the finals. Former roommates and Formula D champions Reese Millen and Tanner Faust duked it out in the final four, and the door-to-door driving these two exhibited showed why they are some of the best in the game. The first match was too close to call, so the judges sent the drivers back out for a sudden death battle, from which Millen emerged victorious. Robbie Nishida would once again fight it out with new rival Tanner Faust. Faust starts off with a slight advantage in his first run, but spins out the second and earns a 0. Nishida goes home with a third-place trophy and his first ever podium win. The two factory-backed big dogs of Formula D duked it out in the finals once again. Both drivers come to Formula D with experience on slick surfaces. They locked in on each other with a first run that was too close to call. The second time out, Millen manages to eke out a slight lead over Hubinette, and the Kiwi takes home the first-place trophy.
How do you feel after finally, getting a podium, especially with all the trouble you've had with this new car?
Oh man, it's not just this car, it's been the last 4 years. Drifting is a really hard sport, and we've just been going at it for 4 years, and it's been really, really hard, and we finally got a podium, finally. Man, I'm so happy, man.
Our goal this year was, to do better than last year, of course, and then our goal last year was to do better than the year before, but, I was really actually just looking forward to top 16, and if I make it, I make it, but then everything just, kept going on, and I wasn't really expecting this, but all I can say is, everybody's like, oh, you're going against whoever, and all I can say is, okay, I'll just try my best. That's it,
So, first things first, how's it feel to be first in points?
You know what? I'm going to tell you, it feels great. This is the premier series in the States. It's Formula Drift, a lot of talent drivers like yourself, and more and more gets very consistent and very talented. So we're not going to just lay back and chill now. It's just keep the momentum, like you say, for sure. And it's definitely good to be on the top, but it's also very windy on the top. Everybody's aiming for you. But we'll get a good gap, and it's going to, hopefully help us to run through the whole season and bring home that third championship.
So what were your thoughts when you lined up with your ex-roommate and best friend, Tanner?
Yeah, well, Tanner's a great guy, and I knew it was going to be a great battle, and he's got a good car, he's got a good balance, and like myself with a lot of rally experience, we know how to drive in the wet. A lot of less RPM, a lot higher gears, and just use the torque and grip drive the car for speed. It's how you drive in Pikes Peak, it's how you drive in rallying. So I knew it was going to be a great battle, and again with Darren McNamara, Irish kid from Ireland, running in the rain all the time, those were 2 one more times that were just sweet to defeat those guys. And then to move on against Samuel, and you guys might not know this, but Samuel and I have faced each other 8 times. That was the first time I've beaten him.
With the first ever rain event in Formula Drift history over, the 2008 championship point standings have shifted a bit. Only 11 series points are currently keeping Millen out of the top 3, so the series championship is still anybody's game.
Hey, we might be in the hunt for the championship again from not showing up at round 1 in Long Beach, so I'm really excited with this win.